I remember on the announcement, we just talk about racism and that it's not good.
Our school, our student council mainly, they put together opportunities for students to show whether it might be artwork that has something to do with Black History Month. We have like an entire section of a wall, and it's not just the Black kids that are doing this too, it's many different races.
2017, Black History Month wasn't recognized in Alberta until that time. And so we didn't really do anything. It was known, but we didn't really do anything. It wasn't until 9th grade, my school was like, hey now, we're gonna be proactive. And they made these slides of like different Black Canadians, which were pretty cool. And they sent it to all the teachers and they were like, at some point, sometime in February, you have 28 days, you'll be fine, just show it.
So during Black History Month last year, me and my friend Daisy, we put together this little project called Black Women in History, and we kind of had a slideshow and we showed it to our class. It was really fun.
I didn't learn anything about Black history in school, but Afro Quiz kind of made me feel more a part of my country than usual. So I know more about the Black history and why the Black is special.
In school, we were never really given the opportunity to learn a lot about Black history. There was an occasional announcement on the intercoms about the basics, like the definition of segregation and racism.
For school, we just did like a report about like Black people. It didn't have to be like amazing heroes. It could like be any like Black person, like an actor or something like that.
And it's sad that I get to be excited about that, but I was. Some teachers didn't even do it. Some did it, but it was very half-assed and it was kind of gross. And then others didn't even do it at all. It was very much presented as an optional thing, and it made Black History Month seem like an optional thing and not as important.
In school, we would most likely learn about like a little bit of slavery, where they wouldn't go too deep into it, where in Afro Quiz, we go dive in to see more information about it and learn more about the history, and not just like, that was it, like it was just slavery.
For like Afro Quiz, I just learned what they did and how they did it, you know? And it did it in a fun way.
But in Afro Quiz, they focus on the positive sides and what Black people and Caribbean people have accomplished. It's more positive. At school, we barely talk about it, and if we do talk about it, it's more negative.
I say Afro Quiz gave me more knowledge, because in school I only learned about slavery and like they were treated poorly.
In school, it's just stuff that maybe you could have heard anywhere. Especially as a Black kid, you hear lots about these things, whether it might be from your parents or maybe the shows and the movies you watch, the books you read. Those are a little bit more universal things that you will learn in school. They're still important to go over, and you learn new things about it every time you hear the story, but it's not as deep and as sort of new as the experience of Afro Quiz gives you.
With Afro Quiz, we were given more in-depth material, and we could really learn new things and not just the basics. We were also given the positive side of things rather than just negatives like segregation and racism. And I think Afro Quiz is helping because we are learning about both sides of history.
So Afro Quiz is a Jeopardy-style game show that's focused solely on Black history.
Afro Quiz looks to instill Black history knowledge and future knowledge, really, in kids, and celebrate and commemorate the accomplishments of Black people in Canada, in the United States, in Africa, in the Caribbean, and all around the world.
Afro Quiz was also a place for community to gather and be proud of their history and heritage. And
I think what Afro Quiz is just a fun way for kids to learn about the amazing parts and heroes of Black history.
You want to learn as much Black history as you can in your category to be one of the winners. and there's incentives provided to the students. You might win an iPad, maybe a gift card, or something to that effect. When I was in CCACH, I participated, and I did win one year, got an iPod. My brother and I both participated and had a lot of fun with that.
I can't think of any event outside graduation at the universities where community members come in to celebrate knowledge sharing of their own people. I can't think of any other places where that is happening. It could be happening online, but I think the Afro Quiz is one of those unique places where the Black people are coming in and celebrating knowledge sharing about their own people, living or dead, right?
I think Afro Quiz being such a celebration of knowledge is a really beautiful way to bring the community together. At Afro Quiz every year, you see people in the lobby in kente and dashikis, there's music, people are connecting, curriculum or not, they're learning all the amazing things about us and about our cultures and about each other. So I think amongst the Black community here in Edmonton, Afro Quiz is a huge party.
I would say the Afro Quiz event builds community. It's a meeting place and a gathering place for the Black community and also the general community to come learn and connect.
The very first iteration of Afro Quiz was something that I created in our youth group Ebony. I was a student teacher back in 1992, and I was stationed out in Sherwood Park. I was partnered with another student teacher, and she used to use Jeopardy, sort of impromptu Jeopardy in classes to quiz social studies and stuff like that. So that was, and I thought, we could do this at Ebony, and I bet people would have fun. So, we did that with Afrocentric Knowledge. And then probably Lawrence Fredericks and maybe Jenny Kelly, who was another important member, who's now Dr. Jenny Kelly. And I think they learned about our Afrocentric Jeopardy, and they thought, this would be a good idea to take this beyond just Ebony and have it available in the wider community. So I said, I can lead the part that's for university students and maybe high school, and then they said, well, we'll handle the younger kids, junior high and elementary. And so I helped out with that for 2 years. It is a very nice thing when you create something, and I got to emphasize here, I wasn't setting out to create anything. We were just having fun. But they spotted the potential, and so when they took it over, they made it huge, and and all credit is due to them, because I did not have the vision that they had, and this has now been running for, 27 years or something like that. Even during the pandemic, it ran online.
What are the wonderful things that are happening? Again, not just those historical sad stories of, slavery happened and different sad things happened, but how can we empower and help our kids to know you are accomplishing things, you are a part of this world, you are an important part of this world, and accomplishments of Black people make a huge difference.
Why is it important for my children to be part of Afro Quiz? They need just as much fortification going into this world as any other Black child. I have 2 Black boys, and I have a lingering fear in my heart always of what their experience is going to be like in this world. The world is always changing, and so I'm hoping that it'll be a much nicer and kinder place for them. But if it isn't, or if they find it to be what it has been thus far, I want them to have a grounding that they understand that there's a community that loves them and cares for them, and that the knowledge that they're learning is something that will let them feel like they are welcome and belong in any room they want to be a part of. That's what I think being a part of Afro Quiz gives to them. And as we sit and wander through the world, my youngest one will bring in connections. Oh, we learned that at Afro Quiz. Oh, we learned this in the Stay Ready program. Oh, I got to learn about, it'll come up in random places. The way kids' minds work, you never know what's actually sticking and what isn't.
Tremendous importance in terms of supplementing, it's not supplementing, but infusing the knowledge that schools don't cover. I think it brings the kids together. That was the other thing, learning about Black history is joyful, because they're often quite excited and banging that buzzer and choosing their prize. And I think also it's good as a community activity, because certainly when I was involved, parents would come with them. Parents would get to know each other, we would get to know parents as well. And I don't know, there's just something about Afro Quiz. You know, people like Melody Cesar. I remember when she was tiny, but she went right the way through, and like a circle, she came back and gave. So it's almost like people pay it forward. You know, like Siani come, and then he's paid, his children have been, he's now got, yeah, his children have been. And his mum, Chris, she's got grandchildren now. So I think it sort of develops a sense of community and family, and people are committed to it. It gives the kids a sense of themselves, a sense of identity. When teachers say no such thing exists as Black history, they can say, no, I've been working on that.
So I think that's one of the things that AfroQuiz does, is it shares the love and the joy of these things. And of course, that one of the best ways to do that is, again, you showcase 5,000 years of African civilizations and geniuses and brilliance, and then instead of people being told, you better listen to this story that is going to make you feel miserable or guilty or both, which is the way that anti-racists approach this topic. It's like, well, so you're approaching, you're turning our magnificence into like a dinner of liver and lima beans, you know, with a shot at the end, you know, 8 vaccinations at once, you know. It's like, no, that's not, who wants to come back for seconds? Nobody, you know, but serve up some strawberry shortcake, you know, or some bean pie, you know, and with some oxtail for dinner, you know, and then you're going to have everybody wanting more.
You teach them to focus on enjoying the knowledge you're gaining from it, enjoy the interactions you're having with those kids, and just learn to understand that that price is just icing on the cake. You can also eat your cake without icing, and it tastes awesome.
My 2 sons have participated in AfroQuiz, and there's a lot of preparation that is involved, and what I like about that is that the kids really, you know, they have to prepare, they have to develop the discipline of studying. So the way that CCACH has done it in the past is they've provided material, right, study material, which allows the students to study in depth the material that they're provided. It's quite a lot. It's a lot of information, and even as parents, sometimes I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. So I'm also learning with them, and what's exciting sometimes is seeing the kids going in to look for more information on that topic, just to get a better understanding. So there's a lot of studying between the time they register and the time the competition takes place, which is roughly about 2 months. So with my sons, what we did is we allocated time every week. We'd set aside time, they would study the material, and then we'd quiz them, and we would repeat that over and over again. It is one thing to know the material, but it's another thing to be able to have the confidence to answer when you're on stage. So kids, sometimes they have a little bit of stage, so we work with them on their confidence, you know, and that, you know, the practice answering the questions. Speed is important. So it's something I have seen. I believe that if parents are involved in the study process, the better the chances of the child having that confidence to answer the questions on the day of.
I think it is a tremendous activity, and again, I just want to underscore my personal feelings. I think it needs to be more than, like, it needs to be presented more than a quiz. It's something, I can't think of a term for it, but I think there's a lot of heavy lifting involved. Those families study for a long time, and it's just like the exams, actually. In some cases, just like an exam, and they're going there to defend all they studied.
So Afro Academy is sort of like the evolution of AfroQuiz. So over the years, AfroQuiz, when we first started, again, like I said, it was sort of like a 2-part. There was a post-secondary part of AfroQuiz, and then there was the K-12 portion of AfroQuiz. But over time, the program had to evolve, and so we felt that just focusing or just having the kids get registered, prepare the material, and then they get to study, and then the only thing they do as a way of celebrating their knowledge is just to come in for one event. And even for that one event, we only have so many kids that we can take at any given time. We can only take 10 kids, and those 10 kids are the ones that are going to be on stage and they celebrate their knowledge. And yet there's a whole bunch of other kids that registered. We would want to celebrate their knowledge and what they've learned during AfroQuiz. And so over the last 2 years, CCACH has had sort of like a dedicated director that focuses on the business of CCACH, if you will. And so our executive director came up with an idea that what if we expand what AfroQuiz is?
Afro Academy was an idea I had to help the kids stay engaged, learn as a community so that they're not like feeling like, oh, I'm the only one studying, my mom's making me do this. They could learn as a group. They could have an experience of sharing all the wonderful things that they learned in AfroQuiz with somebody else, because it was kind of like a short-lived experience, a burst of like, you know, when you're at the contest, you know that you know this and you know this, and they get to kind of cram together at the very end, but really like extending that process.
So Afro Academy is a program that's designed to help students with study skills. And yes, they're excited to get the study materials early, but some of them don't know what to do with it. They have a package of articles and videos and things that they can watch and read and do, but they might not know what to do with it.
Because initially, or what we have been doing is the kids get the information, they learn about it, and then they come to, and if they don't do well, they can feel discouraged. But this is helping them to master their knowledge and so on, even if they don't get to the stage to perform at AfroQuiz, they still have learned a lot from it.
So Afro Academy was created, to help students understand the material, learn study skills that go beyond rote memorization. Especially when you get to those provincial achievement exam years in school, a lot of times teachers feel very busy. They feel like, I need to teach the curriculum, I need to teach the whole curriculum, and we are teaching to the test. So we don't have time for fun. Afro Academy is designed so that students are having fun while they're learning, and they're having fun grasping this material. If you think about Harry Potter, there are 4 main houses. So with Afro Academy, there are 4 empires that the students are placed into based on age. And then they're paired with tutors and teachers in the community that teach them those study skills so that they're not just memorizing it for the sake of AfroQuiz. This is knowledge that will stick with them for a long, long time.
Teaching them study skills so that when they go forward into their academic careers or otherwise, they really have skills. They know how to use cue cards. They know how to use different study tactics so that they can, when they're in school, they have that. Because some parents are able to give their kids those tactics and that knowledge, and others cannot. So I wanted to kind of even that playing field a little bit too, so that everybody has a little bit of, you know, a place to stand from when they get prepared for AfroQuiz.